Nothing ever happens in a closed loop. It should be a clue. It should. Good morning, Justin. I am Riverside. It's a different river. I don't know why there are a lot of geese around. What I mean is, like, wherever I go, there's like a duck or a goose or a mallard. Happy day. Happy day. Hello, Amanda. Let me see. I actually had some things written down. Hey, what happens in a closed loop? And this should be like a really big clue that everything that you think about or imagine takes place in a hypothetical and in your mind, and that hypothetical is always a closed loop. And so when you look at vaccines, all you could see is the bad stuff. You can't. No. No, my dog's trying to get the goose. Hang on. All you can see, he's supposed to be an old dog, and now he's like, "Oh, fuck that, man! I'm going for it." Hang on a second. Like vaccines, all you can do is look at them from the aspect of what it does to someone who takes them. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's, of course, right? But there's more, because that's not happening in a closed loop. That's not happening in a closed loop. That everyone that's taking a vaccine has your witness, or you have they have your witness. That they are watching you. You are watching them, and they are watching you. And that fact is always ignored. But that fact is actually pretty freaking crucial. In fact, if you've ever followed me on Twitter, you know right away that the person I'm directly talking to, the person that I have a closed loop, is never ever going to like me, agree with what I'm going to say, or say, hey, you're right. That is never going to happen. But what is going to happen is other people are going to witness the conversation, and that is malleable. That's where the magic is. That's where the transmutation takes place. And if you understand that, and you stop insisting on making everything about the closed loop, you can see how this entire system is waking people up. If you go on Joe Biden's White House page right now, I'm really sorry about the grooming, guys. Anyway, if you go on his Twitter page right now, you are looking at Cobra Commander. And post after post after post, tweet after tweet after tweet, it's Cobra Commander. And I can't even take it seriously, but others can. And that's not bad. It's only bad when you're stuck in that closed loop. But the people that are stuck in the closed loop are finding that comfortable. I just saw my dad, my stepdad. I consider him my dad. I leak sometimes when I'm around him. I just can't help but just say what I feel. And he laughs at me. He's like, yeah. and moves on. And I'm not someone who's insulted by it, because he loves me, I love him. And because it's not a closed loop. Everything is rippling around you. And even your own DNA line. Somebody asked me yesterday, James, what do I do? My family member is taking the vaccine. I tried to warn him. Now what do I do? And The answer is A, realize that you're not in a closed loop, and B, learn. You are discovering, and you're about to discover, the origin of medicine is belief. And if I had a slide right now, I would show you the symbols for medicine and music, and that the two archetypal symbols for that in, was it Sumerian language? Maybe some African, maybe Northern, anyway, is the same hieroglyph. Same thing, just like one line different. And although that sounds romantic, I really want you guys to think about that a sec. Medicine and music are the same thing, at least a long time ago. But I want you to take that word medicine and replace it just long enough with the word belief. That belief and music are the same thing. And I can prove that because you dance. Because you enter into a state where you can forget yourself. And the state where you enter into is flow. And in that flow state, there is all healing. Why? Because you are in pure belief. You believe in the music. You believe in it. And the reason why those hieroglyphs are the same is because medicine is the origin of belief. And I'm telling you this because your family members that took the vaccine need your belief. That you need to believe in them. You need to help them understand the origin of medicine is belief. Because if they believe that what they intramuscularly injected into their arm is not medicine, what do you think is going to happen? And if anyone here thinks that I'm talking about hoodie-gooey stuff or New Age stuff, you're not listening to fucking science. You're the one that's not listening to technical, statistical, evidentiary proof of placebo. You're the one that's fantasizing that medicine is found outside the body. That's you. You're the one doing that. That is the stretch of the imagination. And as we discussed yesterday, or I think I discussed it, probably just skipped over it, gotten a lot of facts wrong. I called it a stent yesterday. It's a shunt. Thank you for correcting me. It's a shunt. It's a shunt. I really thought it was a stent. But that's what I mean. I believed it was a stent, but it's a shunt. I also said the other day 119 euros. I meant 119,000 euros to get in the Suez Canal back and forth. Anyway, way off topic right now. Your loved one, your child, your partner, all of the medicine comes from their belief. And the reason why so many people are taking vaccines is because it secretes their belief. They do not want the responsibility of carrying their own medicine. And I wish I could show you the yoga pose so you could place your ear on your own heart. Because you would discover that the only doctor you ever need is you. It's the only one. But you have to jack into that belief. You have to jack into the music of that song. And songs are not closed loops. It's not. Your dancing creates these ripples. It changes everything around you. Right now, there's someone out there who doesn't believe in miracles. And because they do not believe in miracles, they themselves will never fulfill someone else's miracle. Yeah, they will never pollinate anyone else's world for it to have a miracle in it too. Why? Because they do not believe in a world that has miracles. And I think that that's why you're looking at so much mandated virtue. That mandated virtue is the projection of people that are not comfortable believing in the power of potlatch, the power of charity. If you believe that the vaccine is poison and it's in your body, it's going to fuck you up. And if you believe that vaccine is going to help you inside your body, it's going to help you. It is. And you can look at the numbers. I'll go there with you. I'm not trying to say they're good. I'm trying to tell you that the belief, just like in every other drug on the market, every single one, the belief is so much more powerful than the medicine or the poison or the toxin or the magic beans that make you magically better. That both of those are the same propaganda because they take you out of that belief. They create this closed loop where you've been told you need something outside of you to come inside. You need something shiny and bright, full of the liquid magic. And it needs to come inside you from outside you and save you. That is a belief. And because that belief is there, that medicine works. And works is a very broad term, isn't it? Every voter you see is an olive, constricted. They squeeze these olives and what comes out? Obedience. Obedience is that oil. It works the same way in your body. It's the same way. What they constrict will be the very source of power. This is the pump. Let me see if I can put it a better way. If you think your life is not okay, things are going to get better. That it would only be the person that you need to worry about is the person that thinks everything's fine. That person has zero skills or ability right now to change. That piston isn't connected. That piston, the proof of that piston working in you is that you believe that things are not okay. By believing things are not okay, you are creating a state, a flow state that you can go to. And if you did not believe that things were not okay, you would never create that flow state, no different than you would never, ever, ever facilitate a miracle for someone if you didn't believe in a world full of miracles. And what's profound about that is the moment that you potlatch someone else is the same moment that you prove that you quantumly create through witness a world where there's proof in miracles. That there's so much proof that you are the fucking delivery system for it. And that's why potlatch is so powerful. And that's why hospital used to mean house of charity. And we've told everybody that we can't have hospitals unless everyone has insurance. Can't you see that that is the restriction, the squeezing, the removal of belief? This is why I get so pissy about knowing things. Because we walk around with this arrogance, and the entire time we're cutting off the very, very piece of it that we need. It's absurd. And it doesn't make the world better, it makes it worse. So if you have a family member who's taken the vaccine and you want to help them, you're going to look them in the eyes and you're going to mean it. You're going to mean it. And no, you don't have to lie, because you have to mean it, because you have to believe. So you're going to look them in the eyes and you're going to say, "You're the best captain I've ever seen. That I can't think of a better person more suited to be your doctor than you. I can't think of anyone better suited to be the captain of that ship than you. I believe in you." And that belief is immunity. That is immunity. That's your immune system working. And we think that we lose our immunity system the second we take the vaccine. And by believing that, you've already lost your immune system. Because now you put it in a closed loop and you think it's something that's outside of you. You think it's only lost if something outside of you comes in and steals it. And the truth is, it will only go away when you abandon your belief. It all comes from there. And even though this is a terrible situation, that terrible situation is showcasing to everybody the true origin of medicine. And you have to remember your ancestors. You have to. My dad laughs at me because of how bright I see. It's true. He laughs at me because I'm able to stand directly out in the sun and look up. I'm not even going to say directly, I'm sorry. I'm able to stand out in the sun and look up. He needs shade. And the only reason why I can stand out in the sun, the only fucking reason, is because of all the work he did. And all the work his father did. And his father's father. And his father's father's fathers. And his father's 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 fathers, right? And when you start to look at your ancestors in one living organism, you start to understand what's truly happening. Because you see progression, not degradation. Guys, we are not a fallen species. Look at Rome. Over half that country was built on slavery. The entire economy ran on slavery. Literally, the entire city functioned off slavery. Guys, slavery was never exclusive to black people. Most of America was founded in bondage. Bondage. In fact, so many people preferred bondage for so long that a bunch of fucking merry pranksters decided to fucking put them all in an olive field and squeeze the shit out of them to secrete liberty. And they knew for a fact most of those olives were gonna bitch and moan. And so they said, we need to squeeze harder than they can bitch and moan. And I've never once, no matter how many times Owen says it, no matter how many times someone else says it, I've never once fucking met an elite Luciferian pedophile. But there's so many fucking Karens out there. There's so many Kyles. There's so many pundits out there begging for government to do more and more and more, to squeeze harder and harder and harder. And these people are saying, I can't get up by myself. I need the ripples from this environment's help. And someone knew that. Someone a long time ago knew that. They knew that. And they knew that deep down you wanted to find the true source of medicine. And thank God you don't live in a closed loop, because you get to witness everyone trying to ignore the truth. Yeah, no offense, Kyle or Karen. Actually, offense. Take that back. Offense. Offense. Kyle, you need the vitriol. You do. You need to know, you need to not rest in the laurels of Kyle, right? You need to go, fuck, I'm walking around, people are gonna fucking think I'm the problem just because I have a name named Kyle. Yeah. Yeah, that shit happens. Except for you, Karens. It's true. Okay, now we got Darren as the male Karen. You guys will figure it out. The point is, no, I'm not sorry. What's wrong with vitriol? All it's gonna do is make you stronger. That's all you're gonna do. I don't see how mankind could not have lived longer. We have so many bones that prove otherwise. I told you guys the story of Ham yesterday. Man, dude was like 58 feet long. It goes into Freemasonry. People get so mad. It's like, why the fuck would... What are you saying, James? You fucking saying that Freemasons are doing this stuff to make us better? Are you saying, James, that there's not a bunch of elite pedophile baby skull fuckers? That instead it's a bunch of dudes that are just so fucking sick at looking at us being so fat and lazy, and they know that deep down we want to grow up, and they just happen to grow up sooner, and they decided, hey, we could do something. We could create a golden dawn. We could fucking potlatch the world with a goddamn miracle by making sure psychopaths don't run their government and turn these people into pig fucking veal. That we could actually control the secretion by making it so ridiculous, so obvious, so fucking hard that you would have to shove your own head so far deep up your fucking ass to deny the source of fucking medicine that you do. And I ask you, the mechanic who says sick Freemasons, which is sicker? Watching people do that or watching someone trying to stop you? Watching someone trying to make it expensive for you to shit all over yourself and tell everybody, this is my magical salve that makes my ego go away so I can learn to be more kind, right? Think about it. Think about how fucking cheap and easy it is to claim I have no medicine. That is a good, profitable position to be in. And I can prove it because most of the country profits from sitting on their ass. And you can blame the Luciferian pedophiles all you want because that's cheap. Because that sounds so much more fucking romantic than a bunch of fucking Karens pearl clutching saying, oh, we need to do this or we need to do that. I just cussed. So sorry. Sorry, I just said a cuss word in front of a girl and she just said hi. What is the man on about? Why don't you fucking rewind it and watch it, Gino? Jesus Christ, man. You guys, this is legit and you know it's legit. Because this is how it works. And you're going to create these fantasies. You're going to create these boogeymen. You're going to go on fucking Twitter or whoever else and you're going to watch people tell you how evil they are. And you're going to pretend like you're fighting truth. You're going to pretend like, oh man, he's the only one telling us what's really going on. Then you're going to look at Bill Cooper and say, yeah, he was totally fucking turned, man. Because he was like, made this hand sign. I saw him pick his nose once. It was totally like 666. And the guy was fucking shot in his yard because he wouldn't pay his fucking taxes. And you know what? That makes you nervous because you look at a man like Bill Cooper and you're like, yeah, well, he was clearly the problem. I'm going to sit here on Twitter and just bitch about elite pedophiles because I know the truth. and you're wanking off on the fucking street corner asking for $1 because you don't want to believe in yourself. That's the fucking truth, yo. That's the truth. So yeah, go ahead and say, what's he going on about, or whatever the fuck else you need to say, because I get it. You have to dismiss this because it's fucking expensive to hear. I just destroyed your entire profit margin from bootlicking for virtue. That's what happened. That's why I don't have a lot of followers. You know how hard that is to fucking face? To look at yourself and go, oh shit, you're right. Damn. Thank God for Freemasonry. Oh, yeah, cut that clip out. Here, cut that clip out and put it with that. That'll make you feel real good at night. Clutching your pearls under your covers, wishing QAnon would come save your ass and lick your taint and tell everybody, where we go one, we go all. Yeah, that's what they tell the fucking olives too, isn't it? Yeah, but you feel better. You feel better because it's profitable. And there's nothing wrong with that. It should be profitable. Guys, there's nothing wrong with you making yourself comfortable. Nothing. Nothing. But bitches like me, I'm gonna throw my fucking shoe at you when you're on the podium. When you're on the pedestal, I'm gonna throw my fucking shoe at you. Yeah, and people are gonna get mad at me. You can't throw your shoe at SGT Report James. He's on our side. No, he's not on our fucking side. Because when I was telling him about QAnon, he was like, guys, this is critical. Really gotta vote red in midterms. Gotta fucking buckle down now. Democrats are coming. And you're fucking telling him. Here's the footprints of Steve Bannon. Epstein met with Bannon exactly 1 year. Exactly 1 year on the day that Epstein died. Exactly 1 year. That this entire thing has been used to put a fucking hook in SGT Report's nose and fucking lead it on. And that's what's happening to everybody. And I've been going off on Twitter about it. I will fucking cut you up like a cutlet. I will fillet your ass this year for trying to sell comfort. You bitching about DC is you masturbating about DC because you're implying that things could get better. That's what you're doing. You're implying things could get better. And the way to get them better is to sit here in a fucking lawn chair and talk about which one's the most evil. Because that's magically how it's going to get better. Because there's no fucking way I'm going to fucking get shot for not paying my taxes. That guy was 6'6" Illuminati. Me, I'm a fucking hero. Why? Because I watched SGT Report. Yeah. Yeah, I will make it expensive. I will. You'll make it expensive too. That's why a lot of people don't watch. They're like, dude, this is not my vibe. This is not my dance. James, I want to believe in antibiotics, but not vaccines. Right? I want to believe that I can escape Babylon by going out to the woods and creating a Babylon. But that's how I'm going to fight the machine. I'm not going to make it better. I'm going to go out in the woods and pretend that I don't need Babylon as I created Babylon. That's how I'm going to fix it. And you're not going to fix it. You know why you're not going to fix it? Because it's not broken. It's not. Because this is not a closed loop. Because all these lessons are squeezing. They're squeezing the gnosis out of you. They're squeezing it. They're squeezing it hard, and you're not going to like it because you're not supposed to. Grandfather Mountain, you're not going to be able to see it, but behind this mountain is another mountain. Behind that mountain is another mountain. It's Grandfather Mountain. And in fact, I think it was like in Forrest Gump or some shit like that. That mountain is 5 miles straight up. And every year there's this race called the Bear. And I run that race. I haven't run it in a while. I'm lazy as fuck now. I haven't ran that in a while. But for like 5 years straight, I was trying to run up that fucking hill. Like trying to run the whole thing. 5 miles straight uphill is fucking hard. I get it. Please come in and say, oh, I did it, but I get it. It's hard for me. And for 5 fucking years, I've been trying to run up that mountain. I try. And you could say, well, it's because you're a wimp, or I get all that. And I'm even fine with that. But I just physically, I physically cannot muster the oxygen to keep going. I can't. I try, and in fact, I end up doing worse if I think I can make it the whole way. That actually, the way that I've been able to improve is to know that I'm going to have to walk during certain sections, that the amount of calories it's going to take me to do this fucking part maybe would be better spent walking briskly, that kind of stuff. I know for a fucking fact I can run up that hill. I know for a fact if one of you fuckers was to put on a Jason mask and chase me with a fucking axe, I would make it up that hill. And I know for a fact that I would never ever agree, never, to that scenario. I also know that if I did agree, it would never work. That there would need to be a tacit agreement with humanity. There would. I'm not trying to justify Freemasonry. I'm trying to show you what potlatch is. Do you understand? I'm trying to show you what potlatch is. That if you look at how easy and clever humans are at offloading their own power, you would understand completely why people who had their shit together when we founded this country said, guys, if we do not press these olives, someone else will. And who the fuck knows what will happen? That they could raise a nation of man-bear pigs who all they wanted to do is suck DC dildo. And you could argue, well, that's definitely happening, James, but actually it's not. It's actually not. That I showed you the numbers a few shows ago where it's like 5-1 votes down, and that every day more people are waking up. And even things like QAnon, and fuck the people that made profits all that, but because it's not a closed loop, that even things like QAnon are helping people by shaming how foolish they can be. And I am doing our community a favor by giving SGT Report so much shit about it. Same thing with Amazing Polly. Both of them share my work, monetize my work, and cut me the fuck off the second I told them who QAnon was. And you can call it a vendetta because I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to respect me. I just need you to get the fuck off your ass and believe in yourself again. And there are too many fucking slick motherfuckers that can profit from you doing the opposite. And I have the ability to throw a shoe with such precision that I can fucking nail these people right in the face and they will not do it again. And you could help me, and most of you do. But a lot of times when I do that, people reject me because of the implication of the weight of that sovereignty, of the idea that, well, if I can't be mad at an elite Luciferian pedophile, goddamn, James, what am I gonna do with all this current? And I'm like, exactly. Thank you. That uncomfortable feeling you have of carrying so much power, that you've been taught because your mind was raised like veal to look for ways to offload and reject that as quickly as possible. And I want you to hold it. I want you to hold it. I want your fingers to burn. I want your muscles to burn. And I want you to say, what am I going to do with all this power? Because the longer you hold it, the more you're going to own. That's all it takes. The reason why you reject your power is because it's profitable. I realize that that's hard to imagine, but it's true. And if you don't believe me, turn into one of these geese and try and lead them in a flight north. Try and be the lead goose the entire fucking time and see how it feels. I've done that. Thank God I don't have to do that anymore. Try it. because you'll see exactly what I mean by power is expensive. It's expensive unless you have practice. Yeah, victimhood is powerful, Eric P. I would argue that's why we have it. And I don't even want to shame it. I don't want you guys to shame it, sorry. I don't want you guys to shame your victimhood. I want you to embrace how important it is. I want you to see how clever you've been. And I want you to keep using it. Guys, you're not going to make it if you're like, well, fuck, James says I can't have victimhood, so I'm going to go out and victimize myself over how much I have victimhood. No, I want you to look at your victimhood and give it a huge hug, but also lick it in the face. I want you to give it a wet willy. I want you to go up to your victimhood, put your finger in your mouth, and just give it a wet willy. That's all. Make it see that you see it. And the next time you try and use that for profit, something inside you, the neuro agents that are competing, are going to go, let's not try that. Let's try something else. That dude's going to fucking throw a shoe at me if I pull this victimhood. Yeah. Do that in your own life. And those miracles, all that stuff, will become contagious. It'll spread. I think I have one more thing. Hang on a second. I don't believe in illusion. And I don't think that I see reality clearer than my dad in the sense that I see more. So maybe more, but it's not like I have the reality and he doesn't. I don't think that reality works that way because none of us live in a closed loop. That what you see is directly indicative of all the beliefs around you, not just your own, but everyone else's too. That what you're calling an illusion is actually an illusion that what you're seeing is real. But I need you guys to hear me. First of all, is real. I need you to hear me. Some of you are under the impression that this world is fake, but there's this real world somewhere else. And I'm trying to tell you that it doesn't work that way. That even before you're born, you've been in the same place the whole time. You've been in the same place the whole time. It is. The toroidal field that you think is a dome, if you think it's a dome or whatever else, is the restriction that you placed on yourself to feel comfortable to navigate the environment. And that you're living in reality, but it's the eye of Ra. And if you haven't seen that, maybe go back and take a look at my live streams about that. But it's the eye of Ra, that your pineal gland in the very central part of your head, one of the few singular organs in your head, right? Most of the things in your head are divided up into pairs, but your pineal's not. That singular organ is listening to the perturbations of reality. It's a record needle. And that those perturbations are reality unfiltered in its pure, rawest form. And that those perturbations go through your pineal gland and into your amygdala. And from your amygdala, they are then rendered into your retinal core. That it has to go through there first. And scientism tells you, well, the reason why the right side of the brain controls the left side and the left side of the brain is controlled by the right side is because the wiring has to be super short so you can survive. When someone tries to kill you, having those extra millimeters is a matter of life and death. Those people are so retarded because they just lied to you. That's not why they're switched. I can fucking prove it. Because from the pineal to the amygdala, it doesn't go right to the eyes. It goes all the way back to the back of your head and to your occipital lobe. It goes there first. There. And so you don't get to say, well, the reason why they crisscross is because evolution had to make it faster. No. The reason why they crisscross is because it has to go back into your video card. It can't render to the retinas unless it hits your video card first. So what you think is reality coming into your eyes is backwards. You perceive in the Ark of your covenant. The Ark of your covenant is your first eye, the eye of Ra. And that is what is seeing the world, but your occipital lobe is rendering something that your amygdala tells you is okay to see. How does it do that? It has a clutch. Your retinas are stocked full of dopamine and melanin. And melanin is like a brake, and dopamine is gas. Your eyes will see what's comfortable because dopamine flows. It opens up your rods and cones and allows them to communicate. And if things get uncomfortable, if your reptilian core says, this is scaring the shit out of me, I'm going to shut down this whole fucking thing if we keep seeing this kind of reality. And that secretes melanin, the pigment, which makes you perceive less. And I'm not making this shit up. If you look at the cochlea, right? The organ in your ear that supposedly tells you about balance. I'm not arguing, I'm just saying that that's what they say. That deep inside that cochlea, the thing that's listening, the thing that's interpreting what you hear, is flooded with receptors for melanin. In science, the same fucktards that told you that the reason why the brain switch is for shorting also tell you the reason why you have melanin in your skin is so you won't get sun cancer. That they never ever tell you that there's melanin where the sun doesn't shine. In fact, most of the secretion organs that secrete the melanin are completely enclosed, that they never see sunlight. And this melanin and this break, this transmission, is why there's phenomenon like blind sight, right? Blind sight, people that can see that don't have eyes. Look it up. You're not going to find it in New Age stuff. You're going to just find it. Blind sight. People can see even though they don't have eyes. And not only can people can see that don't have eyes, but monkeys can do it better. Why? Because they are not fooled by this backwards fucking theory about how reality works. And that when your retinas have been disconnected, not even fucking plugged in, that you can still see. You can still fucking see. Yeah. And why? Because you're rendering from the inside. The rods and cones make you think light is coming from outside of you. Why? Because that is like the base rate that everyone has to get on the roller coaster. That is, no matter how old you are, no matter how short you are, no matter how tall you are. If you're this tall, you can ride the ride, but everyone has to sit down and put this thing on so you don't fall out, so you're safe. And that what you put on is this illusion that, don't worry, none of this shit is inside you, because we know how freaked out you get when you find out how powerful you are. You freak the fuck out. And if we turned this shit on and just showed you reality and showed you how powerful we are, you would short your fucker thing out. You would short out. You would drive off a cliff. You would do anything to try and deny that. And don't tell me you wouldn't, because it's what's happening every single day. The billionaires you see among you are people that believe in their power. That's it. That's it. They're not elite Luciferian pedophiles. You demonize them so you won't feel like them, because you don't want that power, because it doesn't feel comfortable. And it shouldn't. That's why we have this elaborate mechanism in our brain to throttle and clutch reality so we don't have to see it all. It makes it okay for us to absorb. Sometimes food's too hot. You blow on it, right? Same kind of thing. Reality becomes so intense that your occipital lobe will slow it down. It says, whoa, Nelly. Whoa. Whoa. I don't want to see this. It does this, doesn't it? It puts its hands over the eyes to shield it so it can see better. And that's why you see one reality and someone else sees another. They're not lying. They're not fooling themselves. They're not hallucinating. Because guess what? If they're hallucinating, so the fuck are you. So are you. You think the fucking light comes in from the outside and pours in your retinas. So watch out who you're calling hallucination, right? This whole place is real. You haven't been taken out of reality and placed in this box that's not real. You've been here the whole time. You've been here the whole time. God gave you the gift of amnesia so you could find yourself. He's turning you into a badass. And Freemasons who survived every deluge wrote this shit down and said, hey, I got this theory that maybe people like victimhood. And the first time someone told that, they're like, that's fucked. Get fucked. You don't know what you're talking about. But then reset after reset after reset, they started to notice that. And part of you guys are probably like, oh God, he's fucking defending. I'm not even defending it. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm just telling you what happened. And I'm telling you that we've gotten better, not worse. That we've gotten smarter, we've gotten more capable, not worse. And yes, we're not living as long. I don't think that we're comfortable enough to do that because we're burning out our filaments so fast. We're in a greenhouse. You are God's crop of witness, right? And in the greenhouse, man, there's drip emitters. There's humidity sensors. There's all that stuff going on. And a Freemason, he doesn't care if you like him. Freemason's doing this for what he thinks is God. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's moral. I'm just telling you what they're doing. They feel fulfilled helping the Golden Dawn. They see the Golden Dawn as a way of winking to God. They are winking at God. They are showing, hey God, we figured it out. Not only did we figure it out, we're going to help you with the crop. We're going to make you see that we see you. Not only that, we're going to make atheism even easier. And that's what's profound, because now you're getting into NASA. Yeah. That NASA has a purpose for your growth. Because if you believe in atheism, you will masturbate more. If you believe in atheism, you will believe that you can do whatever you want with no consequences. You are more likely to embrace and learn harder lessons. And the only way you're going to believe you're alone is if you believe that you live in an environment that is devoid of sound. What is space? It's a vacuum. There's no sound in space. That you will live a more elaborate and learning life if you live in an environment where no one can see you, where you are shrinking so fast that you're shrinking faster than the speed of light, and that you lived in a place that was a bottomless container of witness that no one, including God, would ever see because of how small and insignificant you are. And that serves you. That serves you because it makes the mistakes go faster. That if all of us knew who we were, we'd be on our best behavior. We'd hold in every fart. We'd walk around virtue signaling just like we do right now. Just like we do right now. Be telling everybody how great we are, how empathic we are, or how our love was boundless, or whatever the fuck else we want to tell people. Because we'd be fronting for God. We'd be fronting instead of making mistakes, instead of living with abandon. That having that abandoning yourself is the best teacher. Guys, look at your ancestral line. Don't you think that your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather would be so much more versed at leading your DNA line? But your grandfather says, no, I want this guy in charge. I want you in charge. Your grandmother said, no, let's put the little one in charge. I want this baby to be in charge of this entire DNA ancestral line. Ask yourself why. Because your ancestors know that you, with all your amnesia, are the perfect chief. That you are the perfect head of your totem. That you being in charge and not knowing anything is going to make us grow the most. And it's pure faith and it's pure belief that your ancestors gave all of that work, secreted all of that belief to put you in charge. And they knew you'd be blind. They knew you'd find it hard. They knew you'd take vaccines. They knew you'd play victim. They knew you'd pretend that your love was endless because they want you to find out it's not. They knew you'd be virtue signaling about how terrible ego is one minute and then defending yourself when someone calls you a name the next. They knew how hypocritical you'd be with every breath. That's why you're here. That's what makes all this system work so well. This is not a closed loop. It's not. It's not. But it's important that people think it is. It's so important right now. Have faith in your ancestors. Have faith in this system. Have faith in Dojo Earth. The reason why you know it's going to be okay is because you think it sucks. Do you understand? Because you think it sucks is the crucible. You know it's going to be okay. You know it. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks for being here with me, guys. Have a wonderful day. Lots more to come. Yeah, hey, if you got questions, want me to answer topics, whatever, please leave them in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, doesn't matter. I will never get above 14,999, but it really doesn't matter anyway. It really doesn't. You guys have a great day. Yeah, enjoy.